Welcome back to the Precision Trader. Another beautiful day here in South America. With that said, let's get into some trading, what the day looked like. All right, so we're going to start off with ASAN. We talked about it in the pre-market this morning. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and show that to you. Rather than tell you, I'll show you. And let's see what we got here. All right, so this morning we identified some potential movers pushing to the upside. Had a lot of liquidity, in the book to the upside. With that said, the market opened flat. SPY went very flat for the majority of the day and then started falling. So that's never a good sign for, pushing higher in the overall market. Now, granted, you can have some that, show relative strength to the SPY or the S&P, but more times than not, it's going to drag the majority down with it. But anyway, as you can see here, some that we spotted on the day. Pre-market, we talked about how Netflix going up to 600. Also here we're talking about ASAN right here. Looks like it wants to pump to 90 and then look for a scalp opportunity. Also Square and Coin 270. We'll look at those as well. And see what happened with that. So let's get back to the order book. And this is what we looked like in the pre-market. The picture that I posted, 86, it was hovering right around 86. Keep in mind, it gapped up. Nice gap. So with that in mind, at the open, you can get anything, so granted, this 90 liquidity, felt very confident that it will get to it at some point, but you just have to understand with gap ups, it's very, very easy for that as soon as it opens to want to fill that gap. So just keep that in mind. So let's see what happened at the open. Well, ASAN open and pushed right into this $88 liquidity right here. And from there, you got a really hard rejection. Yeah, some very strong sellers at 88. Where'd they push it to? They pushed it all the way back down to the buyers that was waiting for it down here. 79, 78, locked and loaded with plenty of buyers. Now in this situation, you feel confident about this level. What do? Well, you put your buy orders on the front side and the back side, as we've talked about in previous videos. Put it on both sides, front side and the back side, or the front side of both of these liquidities, or some on the front and the back. And then you put your stop losses, whatever it is, 50 cents, $1.50 behind all this to take advantage of that. And of course, I'm talking about with shares. You have to, with options, you have to, you'd have to calculate the delta for that. So because, for example, if I got 50 shares, or I have a 50 delta call, or two options that equal a 50 delta, in essence, they're almost identical. So problem is with the options, you just have to calculate it on the fly and all that. So it just makes scalping precise in and out a little bit tougher. Yep, you got to give your options a little bit more wiggle room, to say the least. So what happens? Comes down here, and buyers are able to push it all the way back up to the VWAP, and from there it's sideways. But again, this $90 liquidity sitting up here, that's the ultimate goal. And what happens? We start having more buyers come in, all these levels right here. Of course, there's sellers with it as well. But of course, not big levels, nothing like this that would scare you and say, whoa, watch out. There's no doubt some sellers loaded in that area. With that said, it continued to push through the day. And no, I did not jump on the momentum trade up to 90. If I would have been watching it at the open and seeing it drop, and I would have been more than happy to grab it at those buyers and play it to the $88 to $90 liquidity. But I was messing around with some other fun stuff. So with that said, this is what ended up happening. Finally pushes through the $80 liquidity, support. Look at all the support in here. Support. And then finally, at the end of the day, which I had my short orders rocking and ready to go, we finally push up here into this. I want to say my entry was 89, 70, 75, somewhere in that range, and shorted it. Let me see. Was that the final one? Okay, because I shorted it twice. No, this was it. Okay. So this was my entry here, right in front of the liquidity, 89, 70 right there, and shorted it back to 89. And then it popped back up right into these sellers. I shorted it again. And yeah, that was all she wrote for that one. Yeah, I got really confident on it when I seen it come down here. When it comes to seeing it reject here, try to push back up here, and sellers coming here. Yeah, I knew. They made me ultra confident that they were going to be able to push it back down. And then on this one, I took this one off at 88, and the other half at 87.50. Yeah, one of them. No, that was early. Okay, that's when I shorted it over here. All right. With that said, just so you know that this just wasn't imaginary stuff here. Let me show you. Let me go back to the server here and look at some of our. Okay. All right. Posted it here. And of course, you got the time there. Running into these sellers, jumping into my short position, got in there, out of ASAN, came back, pulled back, whatever it was, 70 cents to $1, something like that. Got out of there. And I said it popped back to 90, shorted it again, and then took half off at 89, and then took the rest off at 88. So this is just a prime example of using Bookmap. Also too, while we're all in the server, had a really great addition to the server. Gentleman, he started trading in the 90s, made seven figures during his full-time trading career, and he's been giving us some great content using. Of course, he's a Bookmap user as well. So anyway, yeah, just some super quality stuff. So just want to share that with you. Excellent trader. All right, so back to Bookmap. All right, let's go to another stock. How about Coin? Remember we mentioned Coin and Square. How we're looking for buyers at 270 and a pop to 279 or 275 to 280. Mentioned that in the pre-market. And let's see how it unfolded. All right, zoom in here. So what do we see? What do we see in the pre-market? Pre-market. All right, so this is what we look like in the pre-market. Now, this is why I screenshotted this and said buyers at 270, 270-ish, 270, 271. Like I said, you gotta give it a little bit of wiggle room, especially at the open. And then what? 275, 276 was the goal. So that's what we were looking for. So what happens at the open? Yep, a lot more sellers come into the book at the open, and they end up pushing it down all the way to 260, 268, which I had orders sitting. I would go back and show you in the server. Had orders sitting right there, ready to go. With that said, now why was I confident in 268? Well, I mean, there really wasn't too much strong, I didn't see a ton of liquidity on the backside of it, and still plenty of liquidity up here to the top for 275. With that said, let me, I do want to show you, because don't want to be those people that just says it and doesn't show it. Let me see. Let me look at some of my plays. Let me see. What did we get into? Where was the square? Okay, there's our square. Also to Netflix at 290. Yeah, once it got, remember we said we were looking for the push to 600 in Netflix. Well, we got into some nice bear call spreads. Yeah, right around that area. So that was that play that was sent out. Now square, okay. Had limit order set at, so a screenshot of this during the day, 268. Again, this is what we're just looking right here. Sent that out, looking for the buyers there. Also too, one of our other leading indicators, algo levels, we see at 268, we had a strong algo level sitting at 268. So that gave, yeah, extra confirmation on square. So, and then of course, once it popped back up, was looking for the short at 273 on square. So let's see how that unfolded. So again, entry at 268, exit short 270, 273. So let's get back to the book map. Look at that, see how that unfolded. And so this was the screenshot from this morning right here. Bounce there. And then where was looking to take profit and short to 273. I got out of all or a good chunk of it at 271 VWAP. So didn't want to take a chance and give the profit back, but like I said, 273 was good area to short and ended up being a really nice short. 273 all the way back to the 268 liquidity. Now again, you could have been playing the bounce at the 268s, thinking that, you know, they could have held it up. Well, not a bad gig, but at the same time, yeah, once it came down here, absorbed all these sellers, support. Well, rejection, you know, and the reverse of when we're on the upside. In this case, rejection, and then a nice little bullish candle. Yeah, that's all but guaranteeing what? You're heading down to the next major level of liquidity. And that's exactly what it did. And that was pretty much it for square. What else? What was we playing with today? Let's see here. Yeah, I had one of the guys holler out about Palantir. Now, why did I tell him that 27 was loaded with sellers? Well, because it was. And why I told him I felt it was probably Palantir was going to pull back to 25, 26. Well, we see it pushed up to these sellers at 27 and proceeded to fall. Almost got back into 25, 26.19, 26.18 on Palantir. So, you know, for me, I would have been in Palantir. I can tell you right now, that's a take profit. That is a huge level of liquidity. There's going to be some, not that it couldn't absorb through them, but I needed to see confirmation that it could do that. Let it absorb these. Hey, I'll give up 50 cents, whatever it is to get that confirmation, rather than, you know, give up potentially a lot on a hard pullback. So with that said, that was Palantir. All right, what else? Yeah, we checked out Square. Netflix, yeah. Remember we talked about pre-market looking for 600. Well, again, if you watch previous videos, I mentioned 600. That was the ultimate goal for several days now. It was just way too much liquidity up there. So as long as the market would hold, I was very confident that it would make its way up there. So we see in the pre-market that Yeah, we had some liquidity down here at 280. Well, let me get zoomed in here. 283 had some nice, looked to be some nice buyers there, but ultimately, like I said, the majority of our liquidity was up here in the 589 to 600 area. So what's our bias? Upside. Now, what happens at the open? Well, at the open, we actually get a pull back to this 283 liquidity that we seen in the pre-market. And then from there, well, rocket ship up to this next major level of liquidity, 295, rejects all the way back down to 288, pushes back up to it, rejects again. Yeah, I mean, that's $7 swings right there. Bam, bam. Yeah, so that's, again, that's why I like to take profit at these major levels until what? Until I see it come up here and then support. Then, then I'll have a little bit more confidence to play it for some more upside. And in this case, went up to 298. So from that 295 liquidity, yeah. So, $3 push there, but of course it was finally knocked back down. What's a shame though, is I had short orders just loaded up in this area, and it just came just shy of filling me. Oh God. Oh, that was so frustrating. Extremely frustrating, but we got it though. We still got our bear call spread on it, but my shares, man, just missed the field on the shares right here. And then I'm thinking, okay, all right. Now this is my thought here. I'm like, okay, we rejected there. Where do I want to look for a re-entry at? And I was like, all right, I want to try to get an entry at 590. So I had my order sitting right here. And of course, more times than not, it'll go right to the liquidity. But today, Netflix was just, it had it out for me, stopped here at 191.60. So didn't fill these orders up here. It doesn't happen a lot, but it's going to happen sometimes. So anyway, so it comes down here. And why did I want to get filled right here? Because I know it wanted to go right back up here, because it didn't get to fill a bunch of, orders right here. So it wanted this 598, 600 again. Yeah. So, and what happens? Pushes up, pushes all the way up to 597, rejects down, buyers come in 594, and they push it all the way back up to 598, almost 599. And yeah, that was, when you get these monster levels like this, you gotta, big, huge, round, 600, $50 levels, $100 levels. What I've learned, and again, it skipped my brain today. What I've learned is it gets to big levels like that, you better be willing to give $1.50, flex around that area. Because if not, you can be left at the altar like I was today. So that was a good reminder for me today. So like I said, normally, I'll tell you what really, why I was a little bit more cautious with 600. Let me give you a bigger picture here because of this right here, 625. Now that's once we started getting close to 600, now all of a sudden, there's a ton of people wanting to do business at 625 Netflix. So that was kind of ultimately in the back of my mind, what made me want to be a little bit more precise, because I was like, man, you know what? Yeah, this thing could very much want to push. We could get a situation where it just, just blow off the top 600 and bam, before you know it, it's 610, 615, 620. So, with that said, I should have just been fine with giving up a little bit extra on a stop loss and brought it down, but I didn't do it. Again, we got into our bear call spreads. So we got that in the back pocket, just didn't get all my shares filled. So, and then from there, rejects, comes all the way back down to 294 liquidity. sitting in the book, finally is able to absorb all those. What do we see here? Starting to get a lot. Starting to get rejection candles, rejection, bam. Was confirmation. Confirmation where we're going. Next level of liquidity, which is 289, 290. And then once we get there, what happens? Yep. They absorb all the sellers, absorb, hold, start rejecting, reject. And finally, nice little rejection, bullish and rejection candle down to 588.80. And that's a good sign for more downside. But again, volume dried up, middle of the day, or getting closer to the end of the day. So, and what do you see here? Not a lot of people want to do business. So anyway, it's better to leave the middle of the day. If you want to try to mess around with the close a little bit, that's fine. But at the same time, that's a tough one. You're a lot better off trading the first 2 to 3 hours of the day. That's where you're going to get your purest movement, volume to liquidity levels for sure. So tell you what, we're going to shut it down right there. I hope this didn't bore you too much. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment. Yeah, a thumbs up would be nice. That would show that I'm not wasting my time here, and be much appreciated. So hope this helped you, and feel free to go back and look at all our previous videos. We're just really getting the channel going over these first couple weeks. So yeah, looking to try to see if we can help as many people as we can. So with that said, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching our video today, and may the market be with you.